480 million years ago, long before the first dinosaur walked the Earth, insects were already here. We are still grasping the sheer scale of their diversity. High in the rainforest canopy of northern Borneo, researchers recently discovered Megaphragma cockerelli, a parasitic wasp roughly the size of a single grain of sand. That discovery highlights a staggering reality about our biosphere. Scientists regularly collect dense samples of forest life, bringing them back to museums where countless undiscovered species sit in collection drawers, waiting through the laborious process of taxonomy to be officially named. These uncatalogued animals actively keep human civilization running. By pollinating about 3/4 of the crop species we consume, they provide a global economic benefit of roughly $500 billion every single year. Entire global industries rely on them. The worldwide production of palm oil, an oil used in everything from cosmetics to packaged foods, depends heavily on one specific species of tiny weevil, originally from West Africa, to transfer pollen from flower to flower. Our food supply and economic security are physically anchored by biological mechanisms so small you would barely notice if one landed on your hand. And right now, those mechanisms are failing. To see how they break, look at this thermal band. Insects live within a highly specific temperature window, calibrated for them to breed. As global temperatures rise, that comfortable window physically shifts to higher elevations. Specialized species, like the metallic jewel scarab, must migrate further up the slopes to stay inside their required climate. But mountains are pointed. As that thermal window slides higher, the available landmass shrinks until the window lifts off the peak entirely. A warming climate geometrically deletes specialized habitats from the Earth. While specialized insects are pushed into extinction, generalist pests are using the warming climate to push their geographical ranges further north. They also capitalize on extreme weather. When devastating floods hit Pakistan in 2022, they left behind massive stretches of warm, stagnant water. Those pools became vast new breeding grounds for mosquitoes, triggering an explosive spike in local malaria cases. That vector expansion is moving rapidly into historically cold climates. Current predictive models forecast that mosquito-borne tropical diseases, like dengue fever, could reach as far as London by the year 2060. We are watching a severe spatial desynchronization. As native insect populations collapse, we are actively importing lethal tropical threats into cities completely unprepared for them. The geography problem is matched by an equally severe chronological failure. Biologists call it a phenological mismatch, when intertwined species fall completely out of sync. Consider the relationship between the North American blue orchard bee and the apricot tree. They have spent millions of years syncing their life cycles to the arrival of spring. Now, spring arrives earlier and warmer. The apricot tree reacts to the surface temperature and quickly bursts into flower. But the bee is overwintering in a nest hole deep underground, completely isolated from those surface cues. By the time the soil warms enough to wake the bees, the apricot blossoms have already withered and fallen to the ground. This broken timing results in mutual starvation for the insects and a total agricultural failure for the humans who rely on that crop. Insects breed faster and adapt quicker than almost any other animal group. A single species can cycle through multiple generations in a month. So why can't they simply evolve their way out of this? The answer lies in the sheer velocity of the change. Human-driven temperature spikes are moving at a speed that outstrips even a 480 million-year-old evolutionary engine. And the climate doesn't act alone. Heavy mining operations recently drove a highly specialized species of cave cockroach in Guinea completely extinct in the wild. Add to that the persistent layer of industrial chemicals applied to modern agriculture. Even tiny amounts of pesticide accumulate rapidly up the food chain, poisoning the very pollinators trying to adapt to the shifting seasons. Relieving this pressure starts with local choices: removing plastic lawns, planting native flowers that bloom year-round, and purchasing organic food all work directly to eliminate those non-climate stressors. By clearing away the chemical and physical hurdles in our own backyards, we can buy the planet's foundational workforce the time they desperately need to adapt. If they fail, our entire food supply goes with them.